Things that can be made to Devi Parashakti, the traditional offerings that can be made to Devi Parashakti as we get ready to receive her blessings and darshan today. The e-hundi offerings can be made in multiple currencies and any amount as you wish to offer. The Sankalpa chanting, the krasa, which is the pure gold inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. You can make this offering embedded with pearl. This offering can be made in 3 different sizes as well. The Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold, can also be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti, the gold touring to adorn the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. You can make this offering on the website. The Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline, on the website www.kailasamila.com/sevas. And the traditional offerings of Seva, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja and the Vastra Seva, the offering of the sacred cloth. Register for both of these Sevas also on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And let us now take a look at the website where you can make all of these traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti as her darshan and blessings today. /sevas. And as we scroll down, you can make the various offerings for each of the Baba Samadhi darshans or any special occasion and special event where you would like to register and offer your gratitude and devotion to the divine. You can make offerings on this website www.kailasamailer.com. And if you would like to make even the offering in your choice and any amount of your choice, on the link here on step 2 to make your offerings, make an intention to make an offering to Devi, and you would like to receive Devi's blessing, fill the form on step 1 and make your intention. And if you've made the traditional offerings and you like to offer the Sankalpa, the conscious resolution for yourself and yours, you can also fill the form on step 3. And the e-hundi offerings can be made in multiple currencies: the Indian rupees, the Singaporean dollars, the Malaysian ringgit, the Great Britain pound, and the Chinese yen. And you can make these offerings in any amount of your choice. And the traditional offerings of ornaments and the ritualistic offerings can also be made outside. You can make the offering of the Parashakti, be different sizes. The Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl, can be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, can be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti, the gold touring to adorn the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. The Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. The Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, and all of the traditional offerings.kailasamailer.com/sevas, and you can click on the links on step 2 and make her darshan and blessings today. Getting ready for the next segments of this program, learning more about care and well-being, guided by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by Devi Parashakti. So let us look at the various these being made available for the well-being of humanity during this time of pandemic. The various contributions of Kailasa, the de facto embassies of Kailasa, for society and for the care and well-being of human society. So let us now get ready.
talk. Nithyanandam, welcome back to this segment of Kailasa's multi-layered quarantine facilities at the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies, which are available now in India, of Hinduism, Jaganam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's blessing. What we learn from this segment today across the world due to COVID-19. What for global peace, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, spiritual solutions for COVID-19, Kailasa's COVID Care Protection and contributions. Join Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Centers. The crisis that we are under. Today, people around the world are trying to grapple with the grim reality that the pandemic is far from over. The aftermath of the current calamity promises to be much more devastating. The greatest economics of the world are facing disastrous futures. Countries are facing off each other in deep mistrust. Now let us see some of the statistics and current news. In Australia, 2,400 new locally acquired infections reported nationwide on a Thursday morning, the figure surpassing 2,000 in a single day in just second time. The World Health Organization has elbowed out all the three other COVID-19 variants represent a tiny fraction of the sample, predominantly Delta around the world, said the World Health Organization's technical lead on COVID-19, Maria Van Kerkhove. COVID-19 has now killed more Americans than the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 19 did. The coronavirus killed the influenza pandemic in 1980 about 25% of Americans and killed an estimated 0.65% with 675,000 deaths. COVID-19 has infected more than 12% of Americans and killed about 0.2% with 676,000 deaths. Now that the US death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 676,000, the coronavirus pandemic has 1918 to 19 influenza pandemic did. US the deadliest, officially US pandemic as the death. People infected with alpha variant exhales 100 times more virus into the need for better ventilation and tight-fitting masks in addition to widespread vaccination to help stop spread of the virus. Six-feet distance may not be enough to prevent viral transmission indoors. According to a study in Washington, physical distancing of 2 meters, about 6.5 feet, the results published in the journal Sustainable Cities and Society suggest that the physical distance alone is not enough to prevent human exposure to exhaled aerosols and should be implemented with other controls and adequate ventilation. The indoor airflow pattern associated with different ventilation strategies and the aerosol emission mode of breathing versus talking. COVID-19 variant still the most concerning, says the World Health Organization's expert. In United States, the COVID-19 pandemic is nowhere under control, says the Chief Medical Advisor, Anthony Fauci. He said, right now, we are still in pandemic mode because we have 160,000 new, that's not even modestly in good control. In infections adding up in the past few weeks. The increase in COVID cases comes as the US administration earlier this month announced that it is planning to provide booster shots of the vaccine as the Delta variant has become dominant in the nation and is wreaking havoc. The surge in Delta variant is driven by the low vaccination coverage in many communities across the US, according to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In a country of our size, you can't be hanging around and having about 100,000 infections a day. You have got to get well below 10,000 before you start feeling comfortable, Mr. Fauci added. World Economic Forum reports that COVID-19 made the world with the increased violent incidences and fatalities since January 2020 to April 2021. You can see this hike in the violent incident. The study that the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you see the statistics, ages 18 to 24 got more affected, about 56.2%, and ages 25 to 49, about 48.9, and ages 50 to 64, about 39.1, and ages 65 plus, about 29.3. Average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders, what it was in 2019 over a period of 6 months, January to June, in 2019, 1.1%. Some more statistics confirming the same, that the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders. Stress in America and health crisis. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. About 8 in 10, about 78% say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. 60,000 healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19, 300 died. Of the health workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19, 50% showed signs of self-reported mental health among pregnant women and new mothers. Before COVID-19 pandemic, depression was 15%. Now, during the pandemic, the depression rate increased to 40.7%, and the anxiety before the pandemic was 29%. Now it rose up to 72% during the pandemic. Living under stay-at-home orders, on school or work, and avoiding distractions. And 50% of all students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Nearly 82% of women surveyed said their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. Nearly 70% of women who have experienced these disruptions are concerned their career growth may be limited as a result. The World Bank, the global economic outlook during the COVID-19 pandemic, a changed world, expected to plunk most countries into recession, with per capita income contracting in the largest fraction of 1970. The COVID-19 crisis has worsened fragile situations. The ILO is more aware than ever. Mumbai mayor says, coming back to India, the third wave is already here. What to do? The city's mayor has said that the third wave of COVID-19 is already upon Mumbai, pointing to a sudden spike in cases. The third wave is not coming, it's here, said the Kishori Padnekar, adding that an announcement regarding the matter has already been made in Nagpur. Speaking of the coming festive season in Maharashtra, the mayor urged people to remain in their homes. Mandals have been asked to allow only 10 people and have them work in shifts. Breakthrough infections found in 25% coronavirus despite getting fully vaccinated. According to a recent study, has revealed through infections due to the Delta variant. The study, jointly conducted by the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, the maximum hospitals in Delhi NCR found that the vaccination breakthroughs were far more common during the Delta outbreak in Delhi than previously reported. All you know. Now that we have seen all the statistics across affected the physical health, fatalities increasing, but it's concerning statistics on the mental health of the people, especially younger generations, and which leading to the global peace. Concerning concerning statistics on the violent incidences increasing global peace. So, how do we cope up with current COVID-19 pandemic, which is seeing another wave, destroying many more lives? Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says the pandemic fatigue setting in as a result of continuous leads to delusional arrogance, Tobhava Sankalpa. Continuous lockdown leads to delusional thoughts like, so what, if I die, it's okay. I can't live forever in this lockdown. Going out and then exposing oneself to and putting the risk on yourself and others with irresponsibility and insensitivity is the delusional arrogance. The global COVID virus pandemic has left the whole world desperately looking for answers. Life as it had been experienced even back in February 2020 is no longer recognizable. Drastic change is the order of the day. With the people who redefine their world with their society, faith, religion, and health, blessed are those who have had the greatest fortune to be with the incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in their lives to carry them through this crisis. With the link https colon / kailasa.org / now sustainable developmental goals. Making peace with the nature is possible if we start now. Even amid pandemic, 2021 can go down as made peace with nature and set, for example, we can achieve the sustainable developmental goals, including ending poverty by 2030, change and ecosystem collapse are under, and societies by valuing nature and putting its health at the heart of all our decisions. World Health Organization on health and peace. Health are interrelated. There cannot be health without peace, and there cannot be peace without health. If individuals and groups enjoy equitable access to health services, fulfilling their rights to physical and mental health, and health actors design neutral health interventions that promote trust and dialogue, and communities are empowered to cope with violent conflict, then health coverage is more universal. Grievances can be heard and addressed to generate trust around health emergency. Concerns affected communities are more likely to make meaningful contributions to peace and reconciliation. So, United States Institute of Peace. Amid COVID, we need enhanced international coordination to build peace. Tackling the pandemic and building resilience in fragile states requires concerted international action at low. This crisis will fuel new conflicts around the world while stemming prospects for resolve. Stronger health systems and universal health coverage must be a priority. Assembly special session in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time since 1945, is confronted contract, a social contract between people, governments, private sector, civil society, and more. Can tackle the roots of inequality with fair taxation on income and wealth, universal benefits, and opportunities for all. Contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism towards the global peace during this pandemic. Vedic tradition beautifully describes Yastu sarvani bhutani atmani ivana pushyati. Teshu chatmanam tadona vigapukshate. Individual goes whenever an individual goes through a spiritual bliss, he manifests. He's more powerful. He moves the whole village, whole country. If he is powerful enough, nations, he moves the whole world and manifests peace for them. And so global peace is the byproduct. How to achieve the individual bliss, individual peace by practicing completion. Now let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism how to achieve the individual peace which leads to the global peace.
Embodied in many bodies. Please understand, more deeper space you go inside you, more expanded you become, more one with everything, more oneness you experience. Unified field of consciousness. Various words are used. Some of the uses the word Atma. Some of the Hindu traditions use the word Nirvana, Atman, Brahman, Nirvana, unified field of consciousness, whatever. But one thing I want to tell you, the deeper and deeper you go, with you, different thoughts of you fights with you. Even you fight with you, the more superficial you go, the more deeper you start traveling. First, you get integrated. The you fighting with you stops. Then, the people around you get integrated. You stops. With yourself, then completion with others, then comes completion with other things, not just living beings, even with inanimate beings. The completion starts happening. Even with a nature, completion starts happening. Please, the more deeper you travel, the more deeper you go, the more deeper you settle down, the more deeper you start living. Your cognition expands. More joy, more bliss, more knowledge, more enlightenment. Please understand. The more and more completion happens in you, you will see around you feels complete with you. In the deepest being, deepermost layers of your being, deepest parts of your being, you experience such awareness, such joy. Going into the deepermost corners of your being now is a joy, it's a power. Everybody around you, everything around you listens to you. Power where the tendency flight is not there, because as long as you feel the other person is separate from you, when you get the power, it will always be used for exploiting. As the other person is separate from you, intelligence, time, talent, treasure. But when you feel the other person is your own, the power you have will not be exploiting, it will be enriching. I tell you, the death, I have enriched every human being more than what I received from anybody. I have given to every human being who more than what I received from them. My accounts is clear. I am ready. Come on, let's go. My accounts is clear. I don't have debt. No credit card money to be paid, loans to be paid, no debit card, no credit card. My accounts is clear. Understand, when you feel everyone is your extension, the power given to you, the power you gain, see, any living is power. Powerful way. Even in that, you will become powerful. So any lifestyle you choose, you will get power in that field. Whether it is exploiting or enriching, murdering or raping or go on serving. Whatever lifestyle you choose, living is. When you go into the deepermost core of your being and start living based on completion, the first power you will, that power will simply make you enrich everyone. The best power you can have through living is power of enriching. You will become powerful. The power of exploiting conflicts naturally brings suffering and more completion in you and in others. This full month, seeing, we have officially presence in more than 50 countries. As devotees, group of devotees, we have presence impacting global peace. All Kriya, means burning the patterns which separates us from others. Burning the patterns which are constantly keeping us in a superficial level. All over, we will be doing samskara dahana kriya, burning our, and we also have special 3 Nitya Dhyana Yoga program teaching people science and facilitating samskara dahana. This month, 20th, 21st and 22nd, this whole month all over the world, all our temples, ashrams, centers, yoga centers, schools, colleges, universities should do samskara dahana kriya, should do bringing more and more peace inside us and outside us, spreading peace. This whole month, let's impact global. Let us really contribute to do it. Not just talking about it. Let's do it. In each area, each place where we have centers, ashrams, temples, two-way centers, yoga centers, even 50 people, each Tanidar teaches, enriches them with this science. The amount of suffering and negative waves, negative vibes reduction contributes so much to the world. Please understand. One positive person can burn negativity. Experientially, with evidence we proved, one positive person has already burnt at least 20 million people's negativity in last 10 years and brought peace. So each one of you, if you stand up as one positive being, one, I tell you, we can do so much to the world. It will be a better place than the time we entered. It should be. So understand, inner peace is your being. Bring more and more completion into you, completion with others. Vaita. Today in the Inner Awakening session, it's all about completion with others. So last 6 days, literally, you worked so much, one by one by one by one by one, layer by layer by layer by layer. The completion with yourself. Now comes completion with others. Today, we are starting the science of completion with others. It's one of the most powerful science. Does so much to human, not just healing their relationships, even inside their consciousness done. Advaita. Today the Inner Awakening sessions are all about completion with others. We have long working on completing with others. So with this, because today we have a long session. Actually, it is a good news. It's not a bad news because participants are so sincere. They are going through the whole process so intensely, sincerely. Because of that, we are little delayed. But today I'm going to catch up. Today I'm going to spend more time and catch up with them, with the syllabus. So,
secret to achieve global peace.
You should work for revolution, you should work for all these, that things, you should vote only the party which says that it will stop the war and all these things. This is the social answer. Nonsense. If you want the honest answer, I tell you, simply transform yourself. You can't do anything. You are raising this question because you are not able to do. Am I right? So let us be very clear. We are not able to do socially. That's the truth. That's the reason you are sitting here and raising the question. I tell you, understand few important things. There are a lot more. The world is totally spoiled. It is not going according to the rules or how it is supposed to be. It was wonderful once upon a time. In ancient time, things were going properly. Everything was well and great. And I tell you, 10,000 years ago, they found writings on stone in our book about that stone writings. That writings, it says, oh, nowadays the society is not as it should be, great, things were as it should be. And it almost looks like a today newspaper. 10,000 years ago, the same thing carved on a stone. Then understand, there was no such time as only good prevailed. It is just a fantasy. Hinduism, they call it Satya Yuga, the age of truth. There was a time only truth prevailed. And every religion, Christianity, they say the Garden of Adam and Eve, everything was wonderful. The idea of golden past exists only in the past. The more you go back, again you say the past was great. And I tell you one thing, it is a wonderful way of postponing the accepting the. Otherwise, I can be sure the world was same as it is today. Whether it is 5,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. Maybe one thing, there was no CNN channel that time. The news did not reach you so quickly. That may be the only difference. But otherwise, I can be sure the good and the bad was equal. Good and the bad was equal. The same amount of wars were there. All the other things were there. If you read the Puranas, the mythological stories of India, you see enough of things. Enough of dirty things. I think sometimes and if you see, if you read complete Purana, criminal activities or bad things or negative things, whatever you say, all this stuff, and never think only present day is corrupted or violent. All these things were there. Only one thing was not there, the CNN or the internet. So the news did not reach you. But at least if you awaken yourself, if you reach the enlightenment state, you can go beyond it. And I tell you, enlightenment is only to the society. Just become enlightened so that you will reduce the negativity. Now, as of now, you are also the part of negative group. Naturally, as long as we are unenlightened, we will be the part of collective negative consciousness. So if you become enlightened, at least you will reduce your weight. That's the only thing we can do. Nothing else. That's the only way to help yourself and the society. Otherwise, all revolutions, you see, all revolution again end up as one more tradition. In last 2000 years, 3000 wars have happened in the humanity. Yes. Human beings have not done any. See, a country claims their army is a defensive army, then who is offending? Tell me. Every country says defensive army. Then who? What to say? Games. The idea of peace is a pure game. To spread the peace according to them. On interreligious teaching. Let all of you convert to my religion so that we will not have fight. He wants peace the way in which he wanted, not the way in which should survive. Something like that. He has written some statement about the peace on the sword to spread the peace. So no revolution is not going. No revolution is so. No revolution is going to help. Only individual evolution is going to help. So be very clear. Instead of working in the outer world, start working in the inner world. That will help you and society some way. Social answer means, I'll tell you, global peace. You should all work for turning. Social answer means,
Now let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, that peace-based powerfulness.
Space of Shanti, the space of Shanti is where Kailasa grows. Listen carefully. It is in the deep powerfulness of peace, or peace-centered powerfulness is the ground, breeding ground for Paramashivatva to manifest. Please understand. Like how pure Shanti-based Shakti manifests in peace-based powerfulness. Please understand. Neither violence nor powerlessness. Powerlessness is weakness. Violence is abusive. Peace, all the Upanishads starts with peace, completes with peace. Shanti mantra starts with Shanti mantra, gets completed with Shanti mantra. The fundamental requirement Paramashivatva to manifest. That is why people who do not want peace in our campus understand, but only eternal peace. So remember this very clearly. Peace alters the very DNA. Anu Mahat structure. Understand? Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The consciousness in you is atom inside the atom, Mahat, more than Mahat. That Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That consciousness starts growing in you with more and more peace-based powerfulness developing in you. Nothing can be compared to unclutching. Spend more and more time, energy in unclutching. It will never be wasted. Time spent on unclutching is the most. Clutching completely makes material. Understand? Make structure, genetic structure, DNA structure, all the 8 energy flow circuits. Energy flows. 1, the pure conscious explosion. So totally 8 unclutch. Understand? Unclutching is the space of Sri Kailasa. Listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Now let's listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that every prayer in Hinduism begins with peace and ends with peace.
Evanti, Shanti, Shanti, 3 times means peace, peace, peace. Hinduism is the real religion. Individual level, social level, globe. Understand? Hinduism lasts all its 56 nations, 200 states, 10,000 kingdoms, sanas, is not a loss to Hinduism, is practiced, kept alive. The ideal of global peace is kept alive. Just do this one simple statistics. You yourself study. Google and study. Take the top 10 religions and list how many people they converted in last 200 years, how many people they killed. List for each religion. I can be 200% sure. You yourself will realize Hinduism is the most peace-loving and peace-living religion, neither conversion nor terrorism. Neither conversion nor terrorism. Being the Supreme Pontiff of the most peace-loving, peace-living religion, I give you all my blessings on this International Peace Day. Understand? It is we Hindus need to keep the global peace as a living possibility, and we need to make this global peace as reality. Just talking about global peace will not work. Working for global peace only is the responsibility of the real living Hindu. Anyone who wants to claim themselves as a global peace is our responsibility. Every
Now the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says Hindus have the responsibility to bring global peace.
Hindus have the responsibility to bring global peace. So you can also throw a challenge. See, if you are making a Hindu micronation, you can throw this challenge to each one, your friends, family, people. Let them participate in the challenge and then let them send the challenge to others. So I welcome all the living and practicing Hindus to become founding fathers of Kailasa micronation in your countries. You can also make a challenge, how they made ice bucket challenge and all that. We can make a Hindu micronation and claim, I am the founding father of the Hindu micronation Kailasa. And then you can invite Your family, friends for a challenge. 11 people. You form and you challenge 11 people and they also form and they spread. So let us start spreading.